Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Nerd Week Live here on YouTube. Let me just turn my monitor sound off. And once again, I am Rodney Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief of Nerd Caliber, first-person shooter in that cosplay photography stuff, and burly adopter in the tech journalism stuff. Joining me tonight is, let's see, we're going to start over with Captain Amerihat.
That's what you're calling me now? All right. Yeah. Hi, guys. Byron McNeil, a.k.a. Byron D0 on various facets of the internet. Contributing writer for Nerd Caliber, social media guy for Nerd Caliber, and I have my own podcast, the Weeb Trash Can Podcast, which I'm going to be updating soon. And on Sundays, I stream Tales of Vesperia, the Definitive Edition, on Twitch. So if you like the Tales series, which a lot of people don't seem to, give it, come watch me play it. I have some cool music playing in the background. It's a good time. You'll see me dance, off my moves.
Cool. And Mr. Oh, your blue underlip is fading. Anyway, sir, my fellow bald man, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Greg Snyder, aka Wonder Llama. You know me from cosplay. You know me from photography. I guess you know me from cosplay photography. Worlds collide. Associate editor here at Nerd Caliber. We've got a lot to get into tonight, and I got nothing to pimp, so I'm just gonna, toss it to Rodney.
All right. The one thing I do want to say before we get into any subjects and before we say hello to people, for any of our fans who are watching us from the Upper Great Plains, the Upper Midwest, the Great Lakes region, please be careful tonight. Be careful over the next few days if you're going outside. I grew up in the mountains of Western Maine. I know really cold, and I know Greg's sweater in detail now. I'm sorry. I know.
My apologies. I just realized I had not put my room light on.
Oh, there you go. Well, the beauty light is on now, and you're beautiful. So, anyway, folks, please, if you're in that region, do not take these cold weather advisories lightly. It's really dangerous stuff.
It is.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Gosh, I don't know if I can get to Bryson, Kristen, Shadia, Bud. Anthony, I saw you before. Brady, let's see. Where's my... oh, there we go. I think there's a whole bunch of people up here I missed. King. And I think that's it. We lit. Sorry, dude. I butchered it. So, anyway, got a lot of topics. Some of the things are going to be real quick news type hits. We're going to go boom, boom, out. And some, of course, will be discussion. And feel free to weigh in on any of them and all of them, even if they're quick news hits. And our very first one, I love that we're keeping up this tradition. This is 5 weeks in a row, folks.
I know.
Before we go live,
crazy.
We get more Dune, more casting news from Dune. And the latest is an awesome one. And it is that fun fellow right there, not exactly in his most fun role. I was going to put up a picture of Apocalypse, but nobody would even know who he is. And that is, of course, Oscar Isaac. And Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron, and so many wonderful roles, has been announced. I guess they're all in talks. Nobody has officially signed on, but they're considered pretty close to official, to be Paul's father, Duke Leto Atreides, in Denis Villeneuve's upcoming Dune movie. Yay. I'm so down for that. One, Oscar Isaac is so good as an actor.
It is.
If you haven't seen Ex Machina or Annihilation, is that the name of the movie?
Yep.
Annihilation. I mean, he's wonderful as Poe Dameron. He is so much deeper an actor than that. Go check those out.
He looks really good under 80 pounds of blue makeup, too.
Too bad his awesomeness couldn't save that movie.
it's tough to be that awesome when you basically are, Robin Williams in Bicentennial Man. That's am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Pretty much.
You're not far from it.
Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this as the casting just keeps getting better and better and better. God, I can't wait. I mean, I'm a Dune fanboy, as we've all discovered anyway, but still.
Yeah, you may have pointed that out.
I might have once or twice. All right. On that note,
literally no idea what you're talking about.
on that note, we are going to Shadia. I did notice you. I said hello, Shadia. We are going to move on to our next topic, and our next topic is this. And folks, you better take advantage of this. Black Panther is coming back to theaters, some theaters, for free. Free showings multiple times a day at AMC theaters all around the country in the first week of February. Coincidentally,
Forever.
Wakanda Forever, the week right before the Oscars. But anyway. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not going to say no to a free movie. I mean, I already own it on Blu-ray, but I'd gladly see this movie in theaters again.
It's so good in the theater.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I own it on, I hate to say this, Amazon Digital. Oh, God, what a fool I am. But same here. I will go see it in the theater a million times. Let me find the link.
Clearly, Big Popcorn is behind this.
Exactly. So, folks, links will not show up in YouTube chat. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to do this. But I'm going to tell you, it's
keep it rolling. I'll see what I can dig up.
Well, no, I got the link. I'm trying to see what's going to happen when I put this in here. It is WeTicketIt.com/Black Panther. And let's see what.
Can I just add one thing to the idiots who can't tell the difference? This is Black Panther, the superhero, not the movement. Because they're out there. They're out
well,
there.
yeah, that's true. I assume so. I'm going to put gaps in between the www and the .com and all that stuff and see if it will actually go up.
It did. I popped it in the chat already.
Oh, okay.
So anybody that's in the chat window there,
then you probably just saw it twice.
Looks good to me.
So the one that I just put in there actually works. So if you copy and paste that and then just put periods in between the wwws and the .com, you'll be good. That'll work.
There you go.
And that'll give you a chance to actually sign up for one of the showings in around you. There's one 7 miles from me in Danvers, and of course downtown Boston. So I've got a couple of great options.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you guys do too.
Right now.
Say what?
I'm gonna check that out right now.
Do it. Sign up because there's only a few shows a day, and they will sell out. Sell out? I guess that's not right. Now, even if this is crass marketing to try to get a better result out of the Oscars, it's a win for us. So,
yeah.
I don't. On the surface, yes, it sounds like that, but I don't exactly understand how it could be, given that most of the voting should be in before then, and I don't think most Oscar voters are going to be like, I was going to give it to that one with all the Victorian costumes in it, but another billion people saw the movie for free this week, so I'll go Black Panther instead.
Right.
Good point. That was my concern when I
still waiting for my SAG card.
Yeah, when I saw Christian's movie, right? I'm sure that was Union.
I've got an IMDb credit.
There you go.
So
just almost ready. When I saw the speculation that this was, or the fact that it was happening right before the Oscars, that was my thought too. It's like, wait a minute, voting must be done by then. I can't imagine it would have any effect other than making people feel bad if they didn't vote for it. But anyway, moving on to our next topic. That is, of course, everybody's favorite little doll to cuddle up with, Chuckie. And the news is, now we reported a rumor about this back in June based on a tweet from the guy who wrote and was the producer of the original whole franchise, this guy Mancini, that a series was in the works. Well, it's more than in the works. It is, there's a pilot that has been greenlit by Sci-Fi, and it's looks like we're going to get a Chuckie series on Sci-Fi. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, me either, honestly. I mean,
it seems like it's right in their wheelhouse. They could probably do it, or Sci-Fi that is. They can probably do it relatively cheap. Hopefully, they keep some of the dark humor. I mean, that was the best thing about it. I mean, beyond goofy animated murder doll, it's funny as hell in places.
Yeah, when they stopped playing it straight, that was when it really started to find its footing. If they go with that, I could probably see a good season going with the show. But I mean, if they're going to go for straight horror, I don't think anyone's going to be around for it very long.
Yeah, I'm the same. I guess I'm the same here. I don't see how they can play this out over a really very long series. Now, it's a Netflix series, so it's probably going to be 8-10 episodes per season, and that might work. But I can't imagine it being a really long on. I mean, not Netflix, Sci-Fi. Actually, that's true. If it's a Sci-Fi series, it's got to be at least 13 episodes. I would imagine, if not a full 26. Well, no, that's when The Expanse was on Sci-Fi. They were 13 episode series or seasons max.
But I bet that had to do more with budget than with storytelling, because there's a lot of stuff that got glossed over from the books, and it was, if I remember right, that wasn't the most expensive production Sci-Fi's ever done.
Oh yeah,
by a lot.
Yeah, more so. Even though they did it, they have an excellent track record of doing things inexpensively. I was going to say on the cheap, but that's not really. It doesn't look like that. With Galactica and so on. This was still, their most expensive production ever. Yep. Certainly more expensive than any of the Sharknado movies. Probably per episode, actually.
But those give endless amounts of joy and delight.
Yeah,
they're so bad, so bad.
This is true.
My major concern is, as a lifelong horror fan, are they going to do CGI blood or are they going to do practical effects?
I would assume CGI blood for cost.
Thank you.
I don't know. Again, it is being done by the original Chuckie producer, Mancini, so he may want to go all practical effects. I don't think we'll know that until reviews come out and actual early footage we get to see. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm not terribly excited about it. I know a ton of people are, but it does have the right people behind it. Let's put it that way.
Well, pretty interesting. Anything else?
Yes. Moving on to this. You want to talk about more blasts from the past? That right there, folks, are the Lost Boys. The wonderful Lost Boys. And this is apparently shocking. I had heard, again, this is a rumor, but this is not a rumor. CW is doing a Lost Boys series, or at least it has ordered a pilot for the series. So we're going to get
another vampire series. Another CW vampire series. Yay.
Exactly. Vampire Diaries, the originals.
1987. So that makes that a 30-year-old, 30-plus-year-old by the time it hits. Sweet.
Yep.
We haven't run out of new ideas.
Not
Definitely
at all.
not.
We got to have not Keanu Reeves. We've got to have Kiefer Sutherland in at least a cameo in one episode, please.
Yes,
something.
Exactly.
And Ted.
He can be the first victim.
Winters. What's his
Maybe
first
just
name?
his head.
Winters. Guy that plays Ted.
Oh yeah. Is it Mark? Not Mark Winters. Mike Winters. Something Winters.
Yes. Anyway, we got to have him back too. Kristen, I agree. Practical effects would I would rather see that. I don't know. Like I said, gonna depend on their budget.
Alex Winter.
Alex, thank you.
Yes.
Apparently, there's rumor now that Bill and Ted 3 might even come out by this Christmas.
Oh.
So we'll throw that not on the schedule
Jesus.
for you folks.
Okay, I don't think I actually realized this. The Lost Boys movie was directed by Joel Schumacher.
I can see that.
That explains so much.
Oh my God, there's some crazy casting in here. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. I haven't seen this in so long. I would not have remembered any of these.
Greg, just before you go,
Jamie Gertz.
Before you go, she's in the picture, dude. Before you go completely down memory lane here for people who aren't probably going to, because that's also Jason Patrick. If he's in there too.
Yeah.
The original movie had an amazing cast. That's true. We don't know who's going to be as of yet in the upcoming series. I would assume if they've greenlit the pilot, they must have people in mind. So, can't say for sure. But it's happening with a pilot coming out greenlit probably 2020. No, not that too far away.
Oh God, you're right.
Yep. Moving on to our next topic. And sticking with spooky. That's not really very spooky. That's actually really pretty hot. But, and that is from Resident Evil 2, which is out there. You're probably all playing it right now. No, you've all given up. Edgar Winters. Thank you, Greg. In the chat. You're probably all playing Kingdom Hearts 3 now, so. But anyway, the news, not news, rumor, but a solid rumor, because it's coming from Deadline, which does rumors really well, is that something we've talked about before as a rumor is getting a little closer to reality. Apparently, Resident Evil is headed probably to television, to Netflix, as a scripted series. Behind it, apparently, according to this article on Deadline, is Constantin Film, the German production company that owns the rights to it as a produced entertainment.
Did they do the movies?
Hmm?
They didn't do the movies, right?
They own the rights to the movies, and they are in the list of production for the movies. They didn't actually produce them. They have production credit because of the fact that they own the rights.
Okay.
But they also were the ones that, in case you remember this from way, way back, bought the rights to Fantastic Four and then subleased it to Universal. Who did Fantastic Four?
Fox?
No, it wasn't Fox.
Which iteration?
Well, it'd be all of them because they have the
one
rights.
from like 6 years ago, 6 years ago with Michael B. Jordan.
No, well, yes, but also to be the same production company that did the ones with Chris Evans.
I thought that was.
I was pretty certain it was Fox.
I thought that was Universal.
Yeah, Universal.
Fantastic Four 2015. Michael Jordan and Jamie Bell and Dan Castellaneta.
While he's looking that up, Anthony, I agree. If Paul W.S. Anderson or Mia Jovovich get anywhere near this, I am done.
It was Fox.
I was about to say that.
It was Fox?
Please don't.
20th Century Fox and Constantin Films.
Wow. I sit corrected.
So that apropos of absolutely nothing, just because it's funny as hell. Estimated budget, $120 million. Or opening weekend USA, $25 million. Gross USA, $56 million.
By the way, folks,
good, people.
in case you're lost here, Greg is talking about the Fantastic Four movies. The connection is Constantine Films, which also has the rights to the Resident Evil franchise, and therefore that's why we're talking about it, because we're talking about the potential, the very solid rumor that there will be a Resident Evil series on Netflix. Mr. London, this is a nerd news roundup of the previous week's news show here from the folks at Nerd Caliber. Enjoy, chat away if any topic strikes your fancy, and let us know what you think about, well, like Resident Evil becoming a series, assuming it happens. Anthony, keep them away from this for the love of all that is pure in this world. I would love to see somebody other than Paul W.S. Anderson and Mia Jovovich get a shot at doing something interesting and different with this as a series. That said, with Constantine Films being the ones behind the series as well, who knows? They may try to bring, maybe Anderson will come in as executive producer or something.
Oh, God. Keep him far, far away from it.
Accurate reaction from the Byron.
Far.
Yeah. So, by the way, I have not yet played the Resident Evil 2 remake, the full game, just the demo that you were allowed to. And even the demo, boy, did I love that. I sucked at it, but boy, did I love it. I'm looking at stuff that people discovered, and I went, wait a minute. I was trying to open doors for like 20 minutes of the 30. How did you get to this stuff? But anyway, moving on to our next topic. Now we jump over, well, actually we kind of cross over into more game news. Resident Evil is a game franchise, of course. And that is the kind of sad, kind of awesome news about Metroid Prime 4. The sad is it's way, way delayed. The reason it's way, way delayed is that Nintendo went to the team that was developing it and said, hey, you guys, this is awful. You aren't doing what we want. It's taking way too long. We're going to give it back to Retro Studios, which did the last 3 previous entries in the series, and let them take over, and they're doing it. That was an interesting sound.
Sorry, that was my phone vibrating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
bummer for...
Nope. Just turning it on.
Yep.
Be quiet now mode.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
So, bummer for Nintendo delaying this, but big, big ups for delaying it because they want the game to actually work right and look right and be developed in the way they want it to be developed. So, not sure.
We gotta trust Nintendo.
Yeah, we kind of do.
I mean, they rarely have missteps when it comes to their IPs like that. And Retro Studios has, like, they put out solid work for Nintendo games. Like, I love Donkey Kong Country Returns. I love all their Metroid Prime works. I'm not the biggest fan of the series as a whole, but I've enjoyed it from a gameplay standpoint.
Apparently, they're also developing Mario Kart 7, Retro Studios. So, these guys, they can do good stuff. So, fingers crossed, folks, that we get to see Samus in the way we should see Samus in a good game.
Wait, hold on.
All right, our next topic is a movie adaptation from comics, and it's such an obscure comic that nobody's going to know about this, so probably not a whole lot to say. That picture is one of the cover shots from the comic book Reborn. It is Mark Millar. Mark Millar of Kick-Ass fame, Wanted, etc. So it's got a big name behind it. But the story is before we get into the story, the news is that Sandra Bullock is attached to executive produce and possibly star in a movie adaptation of yet another Mark Millar comic. In this case, this one. Story is that the woman that you see there in this sort of fantasy world setting was an elderly woman who died. It's an isekai story from anime. She's an elder woman who died and gets reincarnated in a fantasy world. Since it's Mark Millar, you got to figure there's an awful lot more weird stuff going on behind the scenes than that.
Probably.
Kristen, thank you for being our language police. We'll let Steve Rogers handle that in the future. And Anthony, yes, big ups to Nintendo for not BSing people as to it getting delayed. That was Metroid Prime. So anyway, the news here is that Sandra Bullock is going to be attached to this movie. Obviously, she had a pretty big hit, if generating a ton of really awesome memes and some really stupid attempts to recreate it in Bird Box. So, her star is on the rise. It's a Netflix feature, which means it'll hit the theaters and Netflix probably at roughly the same time. So anybody with Netflix will get to see it right away. And I'm trying to think of what else we can say about this. The Reborn comic apparently has been out for 3 years now. 2.5 years.
Now, when you said Reborn initially, my weeb trash mind went to Katekyo Hitman Reborn, which I'm just like, what?
Went to what?
Really? The anime manga series Katekyo Hitman Reborn, which was also just referred to as Reborn for short.
Okay.
Because I'm weeb trash. What are you gonna do?
So this article I'm looking at here mentions the fact, and we've talked about this before, that Netflix essentially bought all of the rights to Mark Millar's what they call the Millar world. And so we're going to see an awful lot of both his comics, and he's got original stuff that's coming up for Netflix. I don't know if this actually fits into the overall Millar world. In some way, apparently everything he's written is connected. Like Kick-Ass takes place in the same world as Wanted and as other Mark Millar adaptations. So I'm not sure how an isekai fantasy story will work that way, but who knows?
Maybe she died as a result of one of those other skirmishes.
That would be cool. Maybe she was killed by Red Mist. Well, that's not what he's called anymore.
Are you going to the Sixth Sense approach?
Yeah.
Sure. Why
They've been dead all along.
Yep.
Seems plausible.
Seems legit.
Or go with the whole Shyamalan thing. It's like, yeah, they were killed by James McAvoy. Anyway, moving on to our next topic. Our next topic is, and again, comic book and movies. Ryan Reynolds has talked a little bit about Deadpool 3. So, one, that confirms that they're working on it. Did I miss a topic? I did miss a topic. All right, we're going to skip over one topic because I didn't actually bring the artwork up for it, and I'm not going to take the time to do it. Ryan Reynolds has said that Deadpool 3 is already in the works, and that they were looking to go in a completely different direction. Often they reboot or change a character maybe like 4 movies too late, which implies, if he's not just completely pulling our chain, pardon me for the cough and the silence, that they may be doing something radically different, or maybe even casting a different actor.
Oh Lord, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because Ryan Reynolds has kind of encompassed this character in these 2 films. So
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Frankly, I don't think that the studio would let them. Now that Disney owns it, he's obviously comfortable with producing a less than profane Deadpool. The Once Upon a Deadpool recut and additional stuff proves that. So unless he wants to get out of the role and do other stuff while still executive producing it, because he is the producer of the whole franchise, I mean, I don't see why or how Disney would even let him. I mean, they can't stop him; he's not a slave. But still, they would throw money at him to keep him from jumping out of this role. Particularly now that they can bring all of the mutant universe
Yes.
into the Marvel universe. So we'll see what he meant by different direction.
Only time will tell.
I get, I'm sort of scrolling through this again, and I get what they're talking about with the X-Force chronology, etc. But the whole thing broke so many rules, and it was just such a thing unto itself, and that's what made it so good. It wasn't trying to be to shoehorn into a cinematic universe per se. It actively took the piss out of the MCU with all of the these are the only mutants we could afford in this movie jokes.
Yes.
If you take that out and just try and to his point, what are you going to do at that point? He's just going to be another wacky sidekick, or not sidekick, but a wacky superhero that you can't really kill.
Yeah, but think about all the other opportunities to make fun of characters in the standard mutant universe. That I mean, we've got to get an encounter between him and Cyclops.
That would be dope.
Or anybody, or let's get an encounter between him and Wolverine, and let's get that romance going again.
No, dude, you're thinking way too small here. Disney, Marvel, I want to see Deadpool versus Kylo Ren. Boom, I said it.
Disney, make that happen.
I was
please.
Thinking Thanos.
Nah, that'd be boring as hell.
Exactly. There's a question. If Thanos snaps, well, I guess he completely disappears from the universe. He doesn't die, so... Because, from what I understand, it doesn't matter how small a fraction of Deadpool is still around, it will regenerate to another Deadpool. So by
that logic, if you chop him up into 5 pieces, do we get 5 Deadpools?
I don't think so. I think one of them becomes Deadpool and the others actually just...
Shish kebab?
Shish kebab. All right. Anyway, so it's still very confusing. There is still the possibility, as Greg alluded to, what has been said is that there's a very strong chance that the next movie in this franchise will, in fact, be a straight-on X-Force movie. And that's actually been hinted at very strongly by Reynolds. So, who knows? Next is...
X-Force.
X-Force. No, next is, in fact, Charlie Manson. So, this is actually Matt Smith, and I chose this. He is, in fact, playing Charlie Manson, but that's not what this is about, in an upcoming movie. I chose it just because I didn't want to put yet another picture of the Doctor up there. I wanted to put something different, because he is going to be some character, and we don't know yet who it is, in the upcoming Morbius movie, which stars, unfortunately, Jared Leto. Exactly. I haven't moved the image back over so you couldn't see Greg actually slightly vomiting, but Morbius, if you don't know, is the living vampire. He is a villain that started out as a Spider-Man villain. Like many Spider-Man villains, he's a tragic villain, a scientist who tried to solve a horrible problem of a disease that turned him, unfortunately, into a vampire. I mean, he's the Doc Ock, he's the Kurt Connors. There's so many of them like that in the Spider-Man universe, particularly. And then he went on to have his own series, and there's a few. He's a pretty minor Spider-Man Marvel character. So I'm not really sure why they're doing this movie about him,
Yeah.
other than the fact that Sony has the Spider-Man rights, so why not? Let's keep making movies within the universe so we keep owning the rights.
They're
But
going to keep churning stuff out until people stop buying tickets. It's just that simple.
exactly. And adding Matt Smith to this might mean that people will, in fact, buy tickets where just having Jared Leto might have meant they won't.
Yeah, I mean, cool. You ruined DC, you can ruin Marvel now. What the hell? Jared Leto, that is. I mean, Matt Smith is fun.
I think DC was ruined long before Jared Leto joined the party.
Yeah, but he really didn't help.
He was like the last nail in the coffin in some ways, or a nail.
Plus, I think you're really talking about levels of importance here. The Joker is one of the most important villains in the entire DC canon. Morbius, not so much.
So the question is, how many people are going to get confused and think that it's actually a Matrix spinoff?
Morbius, not Morpheus. And Morbius, not Mobius. It's not artwork from heavy metal.
I was going to say, I think we're way past the point where the Matrix is even culturally relevant anymore, so that won't be an issue.
I couldn't disagree more. I'm sorry, bullet time will always be relevant. Anyway, that's my bullet time dance with a chair that's actually all the way up to my back, so I can't go. Anyway. All right, moving on from... and there's not much to say here, folks. We don't know what the character is. We could speculate till the cows come home, but there weren't a whole lot of side characters specifically in the Morbius part of the story that were that important. He's certainly not going to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man will not be in this movie.
I mean, it works so well for Venom.
Well, in fact, that's part of what they're saying, that Venom was a surprisingly big hit with no Spider-Man. So why not?
I mean, for a certain kind of viewer, I guess.
But it did, I don't remember what the numbers were, but it did well enough that it couldn't have just been, hardcore Spider-Man or Marvel fanboys and girls going because it's a Marvel movie. It had to be, that looks freaky deaky. Let's go see that. Or it was, well, Tom Hardy's been pretty awesome in everything else I've seen him in. Let's go see that.
Tom Hardy fans, that was a big part of the draw. Anthony, if I could reach through my little Logitech here and smack you for that one, if they record the movie using film, will that make it a Morbius strip? Oh.
Only if it loops back on itself.
Exactly. I don't groan at puns a lot. I actually appreciate the hell out of them, but that was groan-worthy. 100%.
I actually appreciate it, though.
Oh, I do. I appreciate the hell out of it, but ouch.
I'm going to smack the crap out of you the next time I see you, Anthony.
Exactly.
Love you.
So, it is a major role, they say, but they won't say what. Wouldn't it be cool if he was actually Kurt Connors and they sort of brought Lizard and Morbius together? I'm thinking he's going to play one of the descendants of Van Helsing, because they did play a role in the various vampire stories that Marvel did. Blade, Tomb of Dracula, and so on. So, we'll see. Oakley dokley. Moving on to our next rumor-ish? Yeah, well, I don't know. Single source bit of information, let's put it that way. That right there is, of course, Ravager and Ravager's daddy, like literally daddy, not daddy, Deathstroke, Rose Wilson and Slade Wilson, and the story is that they are going to be characters in the second season of DC Universe's Titan. This is based apparently on a casting call that was put out, and the casting call says that this character that will be in the second season is a military man who tore his family apart with his demanding behavior. Forced into early retirement, he seeks revenge against those he believes betrayed him. They're looking for a Latin, Asian, or Caucasian male between 40 and 55. And the casting call for Rose for Ravager is looking for a mixed Latin or mixed Asian actress between the ages of 18 and 21. Sounds pretty much like him.
Yeah. I'm excited for the possibility of having Deathstroke in Titans. I mean, if they're going to go that far with that level of story, that means we will eventually see a live action depiction of the Judas Contract.
This is true. I was about to give something away for a different piece of the DC universe, and I'm not going to.
I know that was what you're talking about.
Yeah. So this is the live action Titans, not a different piece of the DC universe that is also recently ongoing. And enough said about that. Although, I'm kind of giving this away, so Young Justice Outsiders, if you haven't seen episode 12 of Young Justice Outsiders and you're a fan of anything related to Teen Titans, even if you don't want to watch the series, watch that one episode. Oh my God, it's hilarious, and then it becomes so not hilarious. It's amazing.
You need to watch Outsiders because they do everything that they wanted to do in the Cartoon Network version.
That's true. And in case anybody is a fan of the Cartoon Network Young Justice, Outsiders is brutal. It's very violent, and in a bloody way. So take that as a warning if your kids, even say your tweens or whatever, were big fans of the earlier Young Justice. They wouldn't be tweens now, would they? Because it's been off so long. Anyway, it's not appropriate for kids under 8-ish, 10-ish. You decide. But we were talking about Titans, the live action. Yes. So interesting that they will now have 3 Deathstrokes. So you've got Deathstroke in the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
The Joe Manganiello, wherever his name is, Deathstroke that was hinted at the end of Justice League, and is apparently not ever going to happen. And now I'm assuming a different Deathstroke because they're not saying it's that actor. So we'll see. He says as he turns his mic off to sip coffee because it's cold.
Work.
So now this next story is kind of redemptive in a way. And it's the story of the upcoming reboot of Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man. No, I'm sorry. Abbott and Costello are not in the upcoming reboot. It is simply a remake of The Invisible Man.
Dude, that joke is like 60 years out of date.
There is nobody other than you and I, maybe Byron, on this particular chat or in the chat who knows who Abbott and Costello are. I'm sure. Maybe Carly, because Carly's hip like that. But the news is that apparently the Universal, in case you don't remember, Universal was creating a thing called the Dark Universe, where it was rebooting all kinds of classic monster horror films with the intent of making them a connected universe like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then they went and made The Mummy with Tom Cruise. And
you were fine up until that with Tom Cruise part.
Exactly.
I wish Tom Cruise was the least of that movie's problem. I wish that was the only problem that movie had.
Well, yeah, no, it had a lot of other... The script, the story, the concept, everything was pretty stupid. But the news is that they are going forward with an Invisible Man remake, and they are taking a lesson from DC, which apparently tried to do the Marvel Universe thing and decided to scrap that entirely and say, hey, we're just going to go with director-driven films where they take their own look at this. And that's what they now are saying that Universal is going to be doing with its movies. So they will continue to remake these monster movies. Byron, jump in there. You were going to say something.
I said that's smart.
It is. It's very smart, and Lee Wannell is signed on to direct The Invisible Man with Jason Blum of Blumhouse, the horror film, obviously, studio. And Lee Wannell just directed that most recent action movie, Upgrade. That makes me a little concerned. I'm not entirely sure I want to see the Invisible Man as a techno cyborg. He doesn't have to make it like that, but
That could be interesting, though.
Huh.
exactly. Huh is exactly the way you would respond to that properly. Um,
Oh no,
Maybe
so I'm
like
looking at who knows, obviously if this is all being rebooted and reannounced, who knows what'll happen, but talent previously announced to various roles in the Universal stuff include Johnny Depp, Javier Bardem, who would make a really good Universal monster, Tom Cruise, who I hoping was one and done here, and Russell Crowe. There's a wacky.
Yeah, he was in the Mummy also.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
All right, maybe he's
I
one and done
reviewed
here
it.
too.
yeah, it would be great if some of these people actually do wind up in some of these roles. Because I mean, as problematic as Johnny Depp is, yeah, you know what? Forget it. Screw Johnny Depp. Let's not see him in anything again.
Thank you. No, I hear that ends badly.
Well, ooh,
Yeah.
well done. But,
Also, ew.
yes, also ooh. But Javier Bardem, please. Let's have him do. Let's have him do all the lead roles in all of the Universal monster reboots from now on.
All the monsters, yes.
Anthony, Kevin Bacon is not attached to it, but I think that would be awesome. I mean, realistically, Kevin Bacon in somebody tell me the name of that movie.
Hollow Man.
Hmm?
The Hollow Man.
The Hollow Man was the appropriate Invisible Man remake of the last 20 years. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
So let's
Not
get
to be confused with the Wicker Man.
the bees. Moving on from the bees and not the birds to the Umbrella Academy. The Umbrella Academy's first full trailer came out. Now stop conflating those two terms. Teaser is not a trailer. Trailer is not a teaser. Came out and it looks all of the teaser images and the casting announcement and everything indicated, it looks really good. It looks like a relatively faithful adaptation of the comic, and which means it's going to be dark and emo as hell, which is great, because that's what the comic was. And the interplay among the siblings, who are in fact not genetically related in any way, shape, or form, looks solid. Looks really well done. If you haven't seen it, folks, go check it out. It's, I don't know if a lot of fun is the right word. A lot of interesting and a lot of exciting. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm chuckling because I pulled that article back up and it got closed somehow, and I clicked on a link. I did not know that this was a thing. Heavy Metal Comics has an imprint called Iron Maiden: Legacy of the Beast. Iron Maiden has their own comic book. That's fucking brilliant. I'm going straight to Comixology when we wrap up and downloading that.
Well, there you go. There's a little side. Anthony, which one is Wesker? I get it. It's a little Resident Evil looking. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I don't believe there are that many zombies involved. But I like it. It looks good. In case you're not familiar with Umbrella Academy, folks, the short gist of it is a whole bunch of children are all born at the same time from a whole bunch of mothers around the world that weren't pregnant the day before the children were born. And this one powerful rich person adopts all of them, and eventually a group of them become these supposed superheroes that are going to fight crime, uphold justice, and save the world in something they call the Umbrella Academy. And family dysfunction causes that to fall apart hard. They are all brought back together years later when said rich philanthropist passes away. And they're brought back to his mansion, the Umbrella Academy. And weird stuff happens. So, much more interesting than that description, but that's the basic gist of it.
And as I just scroll down there looking at some of the casting, I don't recognize most of these names, but Mary J. Blige.
Yep. And
Ruthless time-traveling hit woman Cha-Cha.
Yep.
That sounds great.
And, of course, Ellen Page.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Carly, literally, I thought it was a Resident Evil thing. No, we did the Resident Evil thing earlier, Carly. That was apparently Netflix is doing a Resident Evil series. Or at least in talks to do one. All right, folks, we're going into our last two topics, and our last two topics are the discussion topics. Birds of Prey is the last one, Carly. So, wait, we'll get there. But this next one is beautiful people in metal bras. No, that's not the topic. The topic is the Red Sonja movie. That is one of the first cosplay photos I ever took. The amazingly talented Mandy Caruso, who sadly was among one of the many journalists who was let go during the BuzzFeed program of the last week. So, sorry, Mandy, but she cosplayed as fantastic job cosplaying as Red Sonja back in New York Comic Con 2011. So, the story is the Red Sonja movie has been in the works for quite a while. It has had the very, very problematic Bryan Singer attached to it right from the beginning. From the beginning of this current Millennia Films adaptation. And apparently the news is that he has been backed 100% by one of the producers as continuing to be the director for the upcoming Red Sonja. This, despite the fact that The Atlantic published a blistering expose of his sexual exploits with underage boys, and the fact that he walked off Bohemian Rhapsody, and they had to bring in another director to finish the film, which, because of Directors Guild rules, did not get credit at all, which is why he has been nominated for any of the directing awards that Bohemian Rhapsody has been brought up on. Singer, that is. Even though he didn't do... He did less than half of the movie. So... Hollywood, stop this shit. I mean...
Yeah.
Wow. Have you learned nothing from Harvey Weinstein? And
Apparently not.
Obviously not. I mean, almost a dozen credible accounts of Bryan Singer sexually assaulting people and having sex with underage individuals. Why is he still making movies? Why hasn't he fled to France like Roman Polanski?
I might have a little insight to that, because he doesn't look like me.
Well, neither does Harvey Weinstein or Kevin Spacey, to be fair. I mean, not to downplay the white privilege, because clearly he has it in spades. Bad choice of terms.
I was thinking that.
He has it in bucket loads. But
in all seriousness, though, I think he's still considered to be a golden goose. That's why. I don't know
Probably.
why. I don't know why, because you make turds like Superman Returns and the last couple of X-Men movies, and people still want to hire you. I don't get it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is disheartening because if from what I have read, the Atlantic article was thoroughly researched, thoroughly sourced. It wasn't, it wasn't gossip, tittle tattle. It wasn't a friend knew a guy who said that this one time he heard about Bryan Singer. I haven't actually read the Atlantic article in full, but it's what journalism's supposed to do. You talk to a lot of people, you get your sources on the record, you follow it up, you make sure you're not printing stuff that's obviously false. There's a lot of credible accusations that this is he is just not a good dude. And
Really very professional.
Also not particularly professional. I mean, what happens with a movie like this, if more stuff comes out, things get more and more accusatory or negative, does he start leaving the set? Does does the production fall apart? If nothing else, you would think that the production company would want to get rid of him purely as for an investment saving situation. If not because they have, what's that word? Ethics.
So
ethics in Hollywood? Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Ethics in Hollywood. It's all about the cash, which I think I'm not really sure that how any investor would justify wanting to put money into this movie, because I didn't realize he was fired. I thought I said he left. He was fired from Bohemian Rhapsody because, as Greg indicated, he didn't show up repeatedly because of comments and stuff happening on the set. So they booted his ass off the set. And why would you back that kind of play when his movies have been bombs? Not bombs, but have not lived up to the expectations that they should have.
They've been milquetoast at best.
Exactly. I don't see, even if this Millennium Films is backing it, I don't see them getting enough investor money behind it to actually make this happen. I just don't see it happening.
So this is kind of disheartening. So I don't know how attached he is, but the producer named Avi Lerner, with stellar credits like The Expendables and an upcoming Rambo sequel. This is just grossly inaccurate. And this is quoted here. The over $800 million Bohemian Rhapsody has grossed, making it the highest grossing drama in film history, is testament to his vision and acumen. That's on the AV Club. That's sourced from from the Hollywood Reporter. I don't know whether that's a misprint, a wild inflation, or what, but I just for shits and grins pulled up Box Office Mojo, and as of yesterday, Bohemian Rhapsody has made approximately $205 million, which is pretty good for what it is. But it's not, it's not like Bryan Singer is shitting gold every time he eats a taco.
And frankly, I don't think Bryan Singer is shitting gold from that movie. I would imagine that he got some sort of director payout, that whatever was in his contract, and if there was any points given to a director after the fact, I'm sure it went to the guy who replaced him. Because I can't imagine the studio that made Bohemian Rhapsody wanting to give Bryan Singer a dime after they booted him out of his contract.
Yep. And the thing that makes this an even bigger head scratcher, sorry, I actually literally just scratched my head as I said that, his Red Sonja is a story of female empowerment about a sexual assault survivor.
Yep.
You can't make this shit up, folks.
And just to get,
I'm not that clever.
To get way back to Anthony's question, no, Brigitte Nielsen isn't coming back for this one, as far as we know. But there's been no casting, and once again, who's got I don't think they're going to get an actress of any repute willing to do this movie. I just
Not really.
You know what? As much as it pains me to say it, someone probably will, just because that's how Hollywood works.
Scarlett Johansson,
Oh God,
who has worked with Woody Allen multiple times.
who knows?
Anyway, yeah, Hollywood, get your shit together. This is awful. Fire this guy. I'm not a big fan of cancel culture, but please, in this one instance, Hollywood, adopt cancel culture and cancel this dude. Just gone.
I mean, one last thought on it though. Look what he's done to female characters in the X-Men movies, and ask yourself, do you want him touching such an iconic female character?
That's a good point.
good point.
Yeah, and the answer is no. So moving
I'm gonna
on.
go with probably no.
Yeah. Moving on to the last subject of the night. It's been out there. Everybody's been talking about it. Birds of Prey. They put out a tiny little teaser that clearly, you can even see them in the background. They're in some sort of big open warehouse set that they just draped some curtains down around and put some lights around. It looks really like it was a video test of various costume designs. And so then they decided, I guess, to drum up interest, like there wasn't already a ton, to put this out as a teaser. And so we got to see the designs of what you're looking at there is a close-up of this particular design for Harley Quinn. But we got to see Huntress with a long coat and without. We got to see Renee Montoya. We got to see Black Canary and maybe a close-up of Black Canary, maybe wielding a bat. What's that all about? I don't know. We got to see Cassie Kane, yay, with a cast on. I don't know if that was just the actual actress had a cast and they decided to use it, or if for some reason they're going to have the character with a cast on. So I don't get it. We got to see Ewan McGregor as an unmasked Black Mask. And we got to see, I can't remember his name, Zaz. The actor who's playing Zaz. It looks really interesting. I know Carly is chomping at the bit to say something. So while Carly is processing what she wants to say here, before I weigh in on any of the designs and the looks and even the idea of why the teaser, gentlemen, start your engines.
Greg, you can have first dibs.
I dig it. It's funky. It's definitely got kind of a dare I say it, a Coachella vibe. if DC went to Coachella, it definitely seems like it plays into her Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs without being quite so male gazy as she was in Suicide Squad. It sure looks like the women who are in this movie and making this movie have had a lot more input into what the character and costume design looks like this time around.
Byron, thoughts?
I have quite a few thoughts on this. Some interesting casting choices here. I am totally on board with Rosie Perez playing Renee Montoya.
Yes.
Rosie's like her acting's gotten better with age. She's definitely got like that. She's definitely got what it takes to be that hardened, grizzled Detective Montoya that we all know and love from the DC universe. I think Journey Smollett is an interesting choice for Black Canary.
Because?
I mean, I'm all for like retooling persons of color as certain characters. I just think like I didn't realize that she was like stepping into the Hollywood spotlight now at this point in her career.
Okay,
I,
I have no idea who she is or what she's done. So
yeah, Journey Smollett's been in the industry since she was a kid, so I just think I look like I'm hoping that she'll get a chance to actually sing like Black Canary's capable of doing, like have her be like a nightclub singer or something, and then she's a vigilante by night because she's got an amazing voice. Ewan McGregor, he's a great character actor, so he will definitely get like the kooky side of Black Mask down. I'm always down for more Victor's ass because he was the best part of Gotham for me.
I'm not sure if I go that far. He was certainly interesting, but ew, that's a freak. But then again,
Well, I also hate Gotham.
oh,
So.
okay.
Fair enough.
The series. Yes, they're Victor Zsasz. You're right. In the
Yeah.
Fox series Gotham, they didn't get a whole lot right. They got Victor Zsasz
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Carly, my thoughts on this of Harley's of Harley's outfits. She looks like a mashup of both female replicants from Blade Runner. They're going for this rock star Lady Gaga vibe, and it's fine. Carly, you say that there's a second outfit released. I just did a Google image search, and I haven't seen anything other than the pom pom sleeves. Let me make an adjustment here, though, because I think I still have this set at like crazy high size. Nope, set to any size. Yeah, I'm getting nothing except this transparent. Unless you're saying that the shot with the bat is in fact also Harley, and not in fact Black Canary, which is what I've seen speculated. We don't actually see. I mean, she has none of Harley's tattoos. The character with the bat. So my one big take on this is what Greg alluded to, and I think it's the fact that if there are complaints, and of course there are complaints about the fact that she doesn't look like the tiny booty shorts Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, is I've seen so many women talk about, oh look, characters designed not for male gaze, for female gaze, and that's what it is. These, Black Canary, designed without the super high hip, cat suit and the fishnets, designed as Byron pointed out, kind of a lounge singer. Huntress, yes, she's got an exposed midriff with combat pants. Those aren't like Huntress, shiny dark purple snuggy leather things. And again, it's blue with a silver coat. Wow. I'm getting nothing there in the searches here. Let me go by time. Past hour. Past hour gives me exactly the same, unless you're talking about the end where it said where they do the "See you soon," and that's exactly the same outfit. It's just that because it's in such blue light, everything looks blue. And
no, so I just pulled this up from Rodney. I will text it to you. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to put this up in time. So track this down from. There you go.
All right.
So I just messaged that to you.
Let's see if this stupid thing ever loads. Wow, is a Twitter link and it didn't hit anywhere yet? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, no, you're right. All right, folks, let's see if I can get anything like this. No, I can't because Twitter won't let me do this. Twitter uses a different format, and I don't have time to change the image format in Photoshop. Do a Twitter search, folks. You'll find it. and it is a long silver, sort of like a raincoat, except silver sequiny sort of thing. And heels. Again, possibly a little bit more male gaze than the pom-pom sleeves, but still nothing like her Suicide Squad, booty shorts.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine. In fact, I'm actually pretty excited about some of these designs, including Harley's. Give it to me. Give me the disco plastic jacket with the caution tape cut up sleeves. That's a genius design. Whoever came up with that.
I definitely think it looks good.
And anybody who is out there saying that, oh my God, it's not sexy enough, hey, you know what? Get over it.
Maybe it's not for you.
Exactly. And if that's the only reason why you're going to watch any of these movies, Pornhub, dude. Pornhub. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Not that Jesus is on Pornhub as far as
No. I was going to say there has to be a porn parody of that by now.
Of Suicide Squad? I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah.
I'm there for this. I'm there for the hard drinking. I mean, the first shot you see of Montoya is her pounding a bottle of booze in profile. It's like, yes. We don't get to see enough of Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress, but what we see, I'm for. I'm intrigued. In fact, the biggest change to me is Black Canary, and I'm really intrigued to see where they're going with Black Canary. We don't get to see enough at all, which is kind of too bad. And if she's wielding a baseball bat, well, that's an interesting take. Not exactly batons.
I was going to say, did someone pass the baton?
Oh, but
or the bat?
Maybe she's just borrowing some of Harley's toys. Anyway, we've gone way long, folks. We're over 9 o'clock. It's 9:12 now, so we're going to call that a night. Thank you all for joining us in the chat. It was wonderful back and forth here, folks. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again next week when we're into the lovely warm month of February.
Oh, yeah.
Before I sign off, folks, once again, please, if you're in that area with 60 below zero wind chills, really take that seriously. Stay warm. So for Greg, Wonder Llama Cosplay and Photography Snyder, for Byron D0 Weeb Trash Can Podcast, and for myself, Rodney Brown, First Person Shooter, and Burly Adopter, thank you again, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.